Okay, just going to give it one more minute, guys, just to let a few more people in because we've got a couple of people turning up at the moment. Just to let you know that I'm starting recording this session tonight for those that can't make it. We've got quite a few people around the world in different time zones, although I've noticed some of you are 8 hours ahead. I've got down here at the moment as well too, so congratulations to you for being here in the middle of the night. I hope that it will provide to be a useful session. If you could all just keep your mics off, that would be really helpful for this. If you've got a question, I'd be very happy for you to just pop it into the transcription, and then I'll try and answer those as I go along. Okay. So just waiting as well for my colleagues to join me as well too. There's a couple more coming into the meeting. Okay, I think we'll make a start. So I may move away to let the odd person in from time to time. I'm just going to check the chat here because a couple of people have put something in. Yes, you're muted. That was right at the start. Thank you all for picking me up on that. That's great. So Evie, hello there. Another one in today. Okay, so we're going to start off this celebration today for OCAD to celebrate the achievements of our students who graduated in August over the summer, and obviously because we were in a recess, it wasn't an easy time to talk that through. So we tend to put our summer shows into the autumn and then give a chance to many of you that I can see have joined us tonight as well too, as current students, which is really exciting to have you in here as well too, as well as some graduated students and some tutors. So I'm just going to introduce myself quite quickly, and also Miss Graham, who I can see has got her mic off but is there with a very nice black and white picture if you see her in the middle. So I'm Matt Theodore, and I'm the director of courses here at the Online College of Art and Design, and Gemma is our head of vocational learning. So between us, we do most things curricular. We look after the courses and we look after the students and all of the tutors that are working here. And we're also very creative people as well too. Everybody here at OCAD is a creative, and that's quite great. Gemma's got a brilliant history in graphics, and she's worked with textiles and fine art. My background is in photography. I'm actually sat in my photography studio at the moment. I'm a practicing commercial photographer, and I also work with branding and advertising a bit and fine art projects. So, you know, that currency is one of the lovely things here at OCAD that we love sharing with you all. One of the great things for us about being able to teach remotely is that we can still be working as practicing individuals as well too, making exciting things and sharing the journey that we're having with you at the same time, which makes us hopefully relevant, contemporary, and interesting. I hope interesting and engaging, being involved in temporary creative practice ourselves, and not just here as career tutors, although there's a fantastic sort of range of different staff here that can take you through all of the different subjects that we cover in OCAD. Now, just to tell you a little bit about OCAD, so OCAD's one of the longest standing, is in fact the oldest standing online college of art and design. You know, we got there first, and we're doing this quite early on, and sort of seeing that gap in the market and that want for people to be able to fit art and creativity in and around their lives. And some of the main things I notice about it, because I spent many years in university education, you know, and I think when I first thought about online education, I thought about online education perhaps as being a little bit second class citizen, a little bit like a part-time student sometimes. But actually, I've come to realise its value is quite profound at the moment. It allows us to fit in with our daily lives. It allows us to be much more autonomous in our learning. It allows all of you to engage with a range of different creatives, and it allows me to do what I couldn't do with a lot of my students when they used to queue outside my door in a university. It allows me to actually be able to spend a little bit more time and to make sure that I make proper written commentary back to my students, as opposed to just maybe a quick conversation in a hall while I hurried somewhere else. So I think it's wonderful. And one of the other fantastic things is we've got this brilliant community of students and of tutors. Even our tutors are across different countries here, which is really exciting. We've got Sylvia out in Spain, and we've, you know, even across our country as well too. We've got people in the north of this country, we've got people in the south, and we all meet up once a year in Cambridge and have a big sort of meet up of all of us. It's really exciting. So, you know, one of the great things is we can bring all those different currencies courses, all those different cultures, all those different starting points, all those different genres that we're involved in, into this wonderful melting pot in this brilliant online community. I've been really enjoying watching the chats between our students as they start again in September. There's brilliant, really lively conversation going on between you all, talking about work, and it's a wonderful distraction with me as I do other tasks, to keep hopping in and making the odd comment there. So well done you, our current students as well too, some brilliant things going on. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about art and why we might be thinking about art as we start thinking about, the students that have progressed from us this year and the value that art has. So I'm going to give you a minute talking about that. And if anyone's got any questions or any thoughts and you want to drop those into the chat, I'd be more than happy to discuss those as we go along. But if not, you can have me chatting away to you. Or I'm just going to ask Kate in here, who's just arrived. Hello, Kate. Very nice to see you. So art at the moment. Now, it's a very brave thing to do, I think. And all of you that have made it in the door to study art, whether you're doing that for the first time now, or whether you've been studying art for a number of years, whether you're one of our students who started with us and is with us for a very long journey, has been with us through Cambridge Online Education into our level 2, maybe our level 3 programs, and then onto our foundation. Art is it's very bold and quite a brave thing to be studying in this day and age. There's lots of bad press given to art, isn't there? And yet I was looking this up and I was just looking at this figure. It astounded me when I read it today. The creative industries in the UK have a value added to our economy of £126 billion a year. That's 126 billion. That makes them absolutely enormous. Huge players within that are things such as the film industry, but even more so the game industry, which completely leapfrogged and overtaken the film industry. And the UK has always been synonymous with being one of the best places to get a creative education. And one of the things we're doing at OCAD here is we're giving that British creative education to half of our cohort at least who are British students, but also we're able to validate that qualification for students who are all around the world. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to do. So it's really lovely to be able to have this international class sometimes sitting in our room, and it's a really exciting thing to be able to do, to be able to contribute to the new generation. And one of the lovely things for me as an academic leader is to be able to engage with all of you, all those lovely people that are out there that are interested in being that next generation of new creatives, and hopefully having some currency myself and getting stuck in the middle of all of that with you. So, we've also got this backdrop at the moment, haven't we, of school budgets being slashed, and importance put on things such as maths and science. And yet, I think you're brave and you're bold, as I said to start with, to have come out and to think about art. Art has brilliant value in sort of fostering creative and critical thinking. And the value of that goes all the way across all sorts of different subjects. You're finding many people now with art starting to think about micro-credentialized ways of learning, small pockets of learning that might come in on top of other subjects. We've had students that do this within other careers that they have. And they use our courses, maybe not just for the academic qualification, but they're also using them in a very clever way, in a very contemporary way, to maybe think about how they might be able to teamwork or creatively problem solve. We've had engineers, we've had mathematicians, we've had people involved in science and engineering come onto our courses. And that's really exciting because their currency becomes your currency in this online community. Also, well-being. Student has a huge and fantastic value in nurturing a creative and considerate environment around young people in education. And also it has a fantastic value in, disconnecting us from other things in this world as we sort of scratch that creative itch and we explore that sides of us. Because creativity, for me, all creativity is a form of creative expression, isn't it? It's how we're able to express ourselves, whether that's through music or whether that's through fashion. It's about how we become individual, and it's about how we share. As a photographer, I always think we're sharing our eye, we're lending our eye to other people. I've always thought of that being a rather lovely analogy, that we do that within this evolving semiotic language. And when we come into our courses, we quite often start, particularly on the foundation, we start off with thinking about photography because it's a brand new subject, and yet its influence is ubiquitous in our world. I always say to photographers, it's brand new, this subject. It's 200 years old. We have paintings in caves, and yet photography has just arrived in the last 200 years. And the final thing, I think, which another sort of why we should be studying art now, is I think it's the great filler in the gaps that this automated, this electronic, and this AI-led world, as we enter it now, is becoming. Because you're learning some of the few things that are left to learn that maybe AI can't be doing. You know, very soon in the future, AI will be maybe performing an operation on you. AI will be taking the place of a driver. AI will be taking the place of somebody working in a factory. It'll be like a new form of an industrial revolution. It'll be a technical revolution that's coming. Some of the few people that will be able to master that and be able to think creatively and move beyond it are the creative artists that we're starting to teach here. And so I think there's a real fantastic value to any creative journey at the moment, because it's going to allow you to become a master of many of these things. And finally, just to say that, with any sort of creative journey around AI as well too, creative people and artists have always been amongst the first to take let me say it, slow down, Matthew, to take technology, to take it to its limits, to push it and to break it. And I think that's what we're starting to do with AI and art, and it's a really exciting contemporary time, so that's a big thing for me at the moment that's going on in art. It's how we can use AI, how we can leverage AI creatively, how we can use it to start creating things. As an owner of a photography studio, I was blown away that actually, people could create complete studio environments now. But I still think that deep creative thinking and that mastery of the technology is how you're going to get the best out of it. So as we all bring these things into our lives, of course, artists are bringing them in and they're playing around with them. And we're seeing more and more of that within student projects where they take this new technology and they push it. And we'll see examples of that within the work we're going to look at tonight in the fantastic show. So, OCAD Online. What do we get with OCAD? I'm going to give you about another 10 minutes of this, and then we're going to dip into the show after this. So with OCAD Online, what are you getting? Well, you're getting, I alluded to this at the start, you're getting artist tutors. So you're getting tutors who are in the real world, who are making things. We have amongst our midst illustrators, fine art painters, theorists, textiles designers, people who are working in the high end of fashion, advertising, photography, film. We have the full spectrum within our team, and we also like to think about how no journey is really that singular. I think for the most part of my life I've considered myself to be a photographer or somebody working with photography, and yet my photography regularly crosses over into graphics, illustration, animation, and more so film at the moment. I've realized that nearly half of what I make now as a photographer is film, and it's quite a profound change for somebody who was trained in a darkroom to make still images. As the world's changed around us, we've become adaptive, and you'll find that artists are always adaptive. They're the most adaptive of human beings, I think, in many ways. Creative thinking, creative methodologies, which we teach on all of our courses, are the backbone to self-generation of ideas, or at least to personalizing ideas and finding our own ways forward. So what else do you get through OCAD? Well, you get more time. Now, you might think that actually it doesn't seem like you get a huge amount of time in some ways if you're a current student here, but actually every week we talk to you, quite often every day. If you respond to us, you get a response. There are sessions for you to involve yourself in, and there's also this backup at any point when things start to go wrong, where we're really happy to just sort of wade in and try and help out, or we can personalize, or we can tailor your course. These are things that are not easy to do in a physical course. I've run them, I've led them, and they're difficult. We can make a complete bespoke experience for you here at OCAD, and that's part of your autonomous, sort of learning, which we want you to develop. One of the key things in all of our courses is developing a sense of autonomy. All artists and creatives that I know, all the ones that I know that are successful and are good, have developed ways of working on their own, which are truly unique, which are bespoke. And so we start with that, with your learning experience right from the start. We really try and think about exactly how we can lead you in those ways, how we can make you more mature, how we can get you away from such a schoolish environment, how we can get you away from copying and creating simulacrum to delivering your own ideas. And in this course, ideas are king. in all of these courses, I should say, all of us, many courses here at OCAD, we're thinking about beyond technique, we're thinking primarily about how you can develop ideas, how you can become the author of ideas. At that point, we come in with the tech. And at that point, we want you to really populate those ideas with the most beautiful techniques and ideas. And it's a really exciting time. One of the best things about being an art tutor, and I've been one for most of my life in one form or other, one of the best things about that is that, we get to walk you through chapters of history. We get you to come with us to the brink of contemporary learning and thinking through our critical theory program, and also through practice that we're making, that we're absorbing, that we're sharing with you. And finally, we get to experience the joy and the wonder as we create a safe environment for you to make big, messy mistakes, because that is the most important thing, that you get to do that without any possible pressure, and that you get to become the best and the most creative version of yourself through doing it. And I think that's what all the best art education for me is about. It's about creating that safe, playful space where we've got some good ideas, some good thinking, and some good people around you ready to sort of help you shape your creative journeys. Whether those journeys are heading towards education, and about half our students are doing that, returning to education, about a quarter of our students are doing that, or heading into employment, and about another quarter are doing that. And we're going to see some lovely examples as we look at some of the show tonight of students that have done exactly that. We've got fantastic illustrators working in Lebanon. We've got mothers who've given birth during the course, which is fantastic as well too. 2 in the last 12 months, which is really brilliant. We've got people that have entered into a variety of careers, not all of them creative, and you might think that might sound like some sort of a failure, but actually that's a huge success. If your result of coming into this course has been a diagnosis of sorts, where you've enjoyed a year of creative education and you've actually realized that your journey is going to go somewhere else, then that's a huge problem solved in itself, and that's a wonderful outcome. And you also leave with an excellent creative portfolio. From all of our courses, you'll leave with a good portfolio that we spend some time on with you. So really exciting stuff. Now, the different courses, I'm going to just take you through some of the different courses and the work that we're looking at tonight, and then I'm going to hand you over just for a second to Miss Graham, who's going to give you a bit more detail on some of the courses outside of this offer tonight. So tonight we're going to be looking at, and in no particular order here, our Level 2 Art and Design course, which is a fantastic course run by Rebecca Rees. That's a really lovely stepping stone course that exists between our Cambridge homeschool, or perhaps people that haven't had an education in art to start with at A level or anything, and that will take you through to our Level 3 courses. We've got a Level 2 photography course and a Level 3 photography course, which will take you into creative education or further education. Or will take you directly into industry, because there's industry linked units in our Level 3 photography, where students are challenged to make studio-based practice or to make live type briefs, which is great. And finally, the last one I'm going to talk about here, which is in the exhibition tonight, is the Foundation Diploma in Arts, Design and Media, with quite a big title there, but it shows the diversity of practice that exists within it. And many students will have taken specialist modes of this course when they come in. Many will have asked to specialise directly in graphics or in photography or in film. But the lovely thing about this course is that you can run it in that completely specialist mode, but also you can make great discoveries in yourself, and you might say, actually, I'm not really sure about this. I think actually I might be a bit more animation than film. And so there's the option within the course to not have to leave, not have to stop, but to say, I think I want to move this a bit. What do you reckon? And one of the other things we're specialist about, other than just art education here at OCAD, is diagnosis. And that's the understanding of what you should be doing and why you should be doing it. It's a frightening time when you're doing new learning. It's a frightening time when you're trying to push boundaries and you're trying to take things beyond the comfortable and the familiar like we want you to. But that time when you're most uncomfortable, that's exactly when you've got to jump. And that's not a bad analogy for life, to my mind. So that's where we're going to take you. We're going to take you to the edge of that creative cliff and watch you all sort of jump with us. And we're going to be there to create the safety net, to make you feel assured and happy and confident in what you're doing, and to also help you understand exactly whether you're doing the right thing, or whether, we might play devil's advocate a bit and challenge you a bit on that and say, are you really sure about that? Or do you just think maybe animation was that best subject you did at school? And we're going to help get you there, and we're going to show you the real world, real people, and a really great experience and time here at OCAD. And I'm really confident in that offer. I think we've got a great offer here. Many of our students progressing from the courses here are achieving, in fact, all of our students in these courses are achieving way above national benchmarks. On our foundation course this year, well up into the upper 30 percentile distinctions, which is, I think sort of 12 to 14% is pretty nationally average. So fantastic stuff going on there. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about in creative education is pedagogies and andragogies, adult and student learning here, is the student cohort. Without you, we are nothing. Without the next generation of new people coming forward and teaching, we don't have anything, because you guys, for the most, certainly compared to a dinosaur like me, are digital natives. You were born with the internet. I had to go to the Hotmail, sign up for Hotmail in the town hall in 1997 with my Australian girlfriend, I remember doing. And I think how profoundly strange and odd that might seem to go and meet a man from MSN. But that was the reality. And I grew up without a mobile phone, without the internet. And you young people now, well, I can't talk so well about youth culture. I can talk about it in the 1980s very well, in the 1990s, but I've sort of stepped off the train now. And you bring with you this wonderful new currency. You bring that excitement, you bring that wonder, and you bring a world which I love exploring, and we all love exploring with you as you make more contemporary and you make more appropriate responses to the world. And we, to some extent, pass the baton as older creatives to you. So it's very exciting. And finally, there's just this thing about the future here as well too. Really all of you that are progressing here and that will progress through the show, we're going to take you through in a few minutes. For those of you that are joining and coming on with us, we're thinking about where you go and what you do. We're thinking about the gaps and possibilities in education in the future. We have lovely units here in our qualifications which are centred about thinking about particularly that, whether that's your portfolio and how that actually might be disseminated, whether that's thinking about more contemporary web-based presentations, which I've been doing a lot of lately with some of my students, whether we're thinking about gaps in the markets and industries that might need populating. What are the sorts of places at the moment where work might be? Is it realistic to go out and be a graphic designer now? Can you go and be a photographer doing contemporary practice? So the future has got a great sort of importance to all of you, of course, because you don't all want to be sort of Van Gogh in a cornfield chopping your ear off and feeling a bit disillusioned with the world. We want you to be out there working in industries or furthering your education until a level that you do. We want you to be the sharpest and the best. And we believe much of that culture is imported by the brilliant, broad and international cohort that we have here. I saw a list today from Gemma, actually, one of the most exciting lists I've seen of students and where they come from. And I wish I had that list with me now, because it listed about 30 different countries, many of which I knew our students were from, but sometimes you don't quite keep a tab in your head and you start thinking, wow, this is getting pretty big. And as we reach out with international centres of our own across different countries, we've got, I think, 10 different OCAD physical centres as well now. Some really exciting things starting to go on with those also feeding back into this brilliant creative melting pot. So with 4 or 5 minutes left to go until I end this meeting, and I annoyingly make you jump sideways into a link on our next meeting, led by Alberto, but not led by Alberto tonight, because I will be leading the session again. We've got a little bit of staff absence due to a sick child tonight, so our thoughts with our colleague, and I will confidently and happily show you around the exhibition, which is an extra lovely treat for me to spend a little bit more time doing what I love doing, which is looking at art, talking about art, and shining a torch in some creative, clever, insightful places where students have made work this year. So I'm just going to hand you to Miss Graham just for 2 seconds. She's got anything to add there on top? This is Gemma Graham, who's our Head of Vocational Learning.
Hi there. Thanks, Matt. Oh, thanks for your wonderful introduction to OCAD. There's so many things and exciting things to think about. And yeah, welcome to everyone that's come online. I'm just looking through all the names, and yeah, it's lovely to see loads of familiar names coming back. You're gonna be walked through your show in a minute, so it's lovely to have you all with us and to be able to celebrate that with you, and also from our lower years as well, who have come along to help support the rest of the OCAD community and celebrate with us and see what's kind of ahead for them as well as they transition into the next levels into next year. So yeah, really exciting. Can't wait to see the show, and it's just lovely to see you all joining us this evening. What else? So yeah, Matt, you make so many lovely points about what the future of art is, and yeah, I think it's brighter than it's ever been, to be honest, for artists and musicians who, yeah, we live in this very digital world, don't we, but also globalized, digital, connected world as well. So to have, yeah, students in all corners of the globe all working together, collaborating together, and even with our music, you know, who have to they have to perform as groups and things, and where that's not possible, it is online. And you know, people do say, oh, how am I going to do my performance with a group? And I'm like, look, we're all online, we can make that happen. And this is the future, really. And even though technology is advancing and it's exciting and it's wonderful, you're never going to replace that human creativity, are you, and emotion. And as machines do take over a lot of industries, they're never going to take over our one. So we're finally being recognized, and we're finally getting some limelight on how important the creative skills are. And yeah, it's a really exciting time for OCAD and all our students. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going into the exhibition. So shall I post in this message chat here, unless anyone's got any questions and want to open up any of their comments or anything to start with? Anyone else want to mention anything? Do type away in the chat, and we'll just run over now to the exhibition. So Matt, have you got that ready?
Sideways to the digital gallery. Yeah, I shall see you in there. I shall leave first then, Gemma, and leave you there with Gemma for a sec, just in case there's anything else.
Yeah, okay? Brilliant. You set up and open up the exhibition and put the link in the chat for us, and we'll see you in there. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you. So guys, in the chat you will see another Teams link, so feel free to click on that now, and we will go into our public view of the exhibition, which is showcasing, as Matt said, 4 courses across OCAD and our graduates. So thank you to all of you that contributed to it, and we're really excited to share all of the incredible work and awards that are going to be going on. So let's go over to that. I'll just hang out in here a little bit longer and check that you've all migrated across. So yeah, thanks for joining us for the beginning, and I'll see you shortly on the other side.